Mr. Chairman, I move to pass.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. House Regulated Industries is now in order. To committee members, there's only one bill on the calendar today, and that's a bill that I'm handling. And I will relinquish the chairmanship to the vice chair.
Chairman, I think you got a motion on the floor.
No second.
Yes, you got a second.
I hate to do this, but you're out of order. You know, now I'm in charge here, I can say that, right?
Mr. Chairman, remember who your friends are.
Uh,
Remember who your friends are, Mr. Chairman.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Chairman. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and ladies and gentlemen of the committee. I bring to you today Senate Bill 153. This bill has passed the House a couple of times last year. Went to the Senate. Egos got in the way. Got held up on sine die night. This year I chose a different direction. I got a kind senator to introduce this bill for me to send it over here so that egos wouldn't get in this way. Quite simply, I'll give you a little bit of a background. This bill came to us a few years ago because of a particular problem that was happening in Georgia, trauma scene cleanup. It doesn't sound very sexy, but it's a real problem when people experience either crimes or people dying and leaving the debris, so to say, and it requires a very specialty cleanup. We have companies in the state of Georgia that specialize in this. They know all the rules and the regs as it applies through EPD and biohazard cleanup and such as that. But the real problem was that up until this point, we ran into a situation a couple of years ago where there were several indictments made about people who would go into houses under the pretense when people are at their very lowest, when they have a loved one either from a suicide or a victim of a crime. And these people just generally turn over the keys to somebody, and if they don't know them, and if these people aren't background checked and has credentials, then these people can actually go through and pillage through the house for valuables and such, and that doesn't help their mental health much either. We had several cases, and I think it was a coroner that was indicted for doing this. There was a couple of cases of folks being indicted doing this, and we decided not to go a licensing route, but to go through a registration route, a simpler way of trying to do this. And what this bill does, it requires that if you're going to advertise yourself and to let yourself out to the public that you're a trauma scene cleanup specialist, that you be background checked to prove that you're not a convicted felon. You post a $25,000 surety bond. You have a $10,000 minimal liability policy, and that you will then be registered with the GVI. They can set forth whatever rules and regs they need to safeguard this type of business, and as a result of that, they will then attach to their website a list of approved or these type of crime scene cleanup specialists. Be sure that they're following all the rules. You don't want grandma's remains to be put in a pasteboard box out under a carport. You don't want your loved one that might have unfortunately committed suicide. You don't want them to scrape up those remains and put them in the dumpster behind the Kmart. And it's just very simple. That's quite frankly what it does. I'll be glad to stand for questions.
Committee members, anybody?
As a footnote to that, I'll also tell you that last year, when it passed, the vast majority of folks were supportive. There were a few companies that were not supportive of this bill last year. Now they are supportive of it, and they have sent letters of endorsement as such.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 24? You wave off. Number 27.
At the proper time, I'd like to make a motion to pass.
And before we do that, is there anybody here to speak on the bill? No questions of the author, presenter? Do we have an agency position anybody wish to express on this matter? Number 19.
Yeah, as we have agency representatives, GBI representatives here today. I'd like to hear from them.
That'd be good. You can come to the podium, Mike, if you would, please.
Nellie Miles with the GBI. At this particular point, we've been working with Chairman Powell since last session. We also been working with Les, and they have made us aware there's probably approximately 25 to 30 companies that are out there, and so we're making preparations internally to be able to accommodate it if it's passed.
And does the GBI internally, when you're making preparations, you'll be able to set up the website at no additional cost to the state? That those are funds that you can use internally. Is that right?
Internally, that's right. That's the
Okay.
plan.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's also a license fee.
$100.
Now's the time for a motion. We heard a motion do pass. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee, and since you're in control of the mic, why don't you just go ahead and adjourn the meeting?
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.